Hello and welcome. My name is Julie Wynn, and I am the Communications Coordinator with the CFLF, the Cystic Fibrosis Lifestyle Foundation. And I'm joined on this call with Brian Callahan, who is the Founder and Executive Director of the CFLF. And I'm also joined with Lara Govendo, who is a Champs Challenge event coordinator, a CFLF blog writer. She works and writes for the Cystic Fibrosis News Today and is a CF advocate that we admire greatly here at the CFLF. And our new STROLO STAR program introduces you to some of our inspirational people from our CF community. So we're excited to have this opportunity to speak with Lara today. So I just want to kick things off and introduce you to Brian Callahan. And Brian, can you share just a little bit about what we do at the CFLF and what our role is within the CF community?
Absolutely. Thanks, Julie. And Lara, so glad to have this conversation with you. As you know, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time and so enjoy having our paths be crossed. But the CF Lifestyle Foundation was incorporated in 2003. And we have really focused on trying to help the CF community gain greater awareness in terms of the critical importance of activity and exercise in living with cystic fibrosis. Our mission is to help provide avenues to healthy and active lifestyles, to help empower and educate people with CF through exercise, and to teach them the critical importance of their choices in terms of their lifestyle on their well-being, both physically and mentally. The primary program of the CFLF is a recreation grant program that helps support people with CF around the country and now also in Canada with financial assistance to overcome cost barriers to exercise-related activities. And now in this quarantine period, are also working on pivoting that to support the purchases of exercise equipment, specifically for aerobic exercise. But for me, the importance of exercise in my having cystic fibrosis has been there since I was a little boy. And as I grew up and was able to look back on how important exercise has been, and still today in this critical pandemic period, the importance for me has been sort of the bridge between my mental health and my physical health, and learning how overlapped the two are. And for me, exercise is the bridge between the two. So that's something that we are really focused on, and are excited that throughout the years we've helped over 1,400 people with CF. We've given out more than $750,000 of assistance, and really trying to continue to help people, especially in this really challenging, scary time. So people like Lara are great inspiration for me, for the community, and are a perfect example of the lifestyle we're trying to impart on people, and I'm excited to talk more with you about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Brian, for sharing that. And we're really excited to be joined here today with Lara, who is a double lung transplant recipient and works to bring awareness not only about cystic fibrosis, but about the importance of organ donation. So we're really looking forward to this interview. So let's just get started here. Lara, how are you doing today?
Great, thank you.
So what or who inspires you? It's a very general question, but what inspires you?
Well, I would definitely say other people in the CF community and transplant. I just see so many individuals who are rising up and doing things that people thought we would, excuse me, never be able to do. And it's really amazing to be a part of a community that uplifts each other and wants to see each other win and encourages each other along whatever journey they're on. So, and Brian, of course, is one of my
You're such a good liar. Lara, what are some of your favorite sports or activities to do to stay active with CF?
Well, post-transplant, I've gotten into so many that either I've never done or I haven't done in years. So I've been kayaking and mountain biking and hiking and just getting outside to, you know, work my new airbags and be able to do all the things that I haven't been able to do. And yeah, like that's such a huge part of my everyday routine.
Awesome.
That's awesome. You're in
Vermont's
such a beautiful place in Vermont to be able to do that.
It's very blessed. Yeah.
So a follow-up question to that, how has exercise in general impacted your health?
It's always been a significant part of my life, but pre-transplant and getting involved with the CFLF was a huge influence for me because they really drove home the mission of how important it is not only on a physical level, but the mental, emotional piece. And so before transplant, even though I was in the hospital a lot, I was running with 6 liters of oxygen in tow and still getting outside and doing stuff. And I think that really kept me strong physically, of course, going into the transplant. But the mental, emotional piece was just, you know, doing things that, you know, didn't make sense for my body to be able to do. But like, you know, the mental, emotional piece of you is so much stronger and kept me going. And every day it was a challenge to do something that my lungs were failing, but also, you know, committed to making it happen. So.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Yeah, it is. And I think that mental and emotional part is one of the biggest challenges in living with CF because it's not physical, it's not concrete, it's not something that you can do more vest therapy and clear out or more enzymes and digest better. It's abstract and it's unseen sometimes. And ever since I've known you, I think was shortly before your transplant. And since then, I've known you as one of the most positive people I've ever met. And so I'm curious, how do you stay positive? And I'm sure there's down days too. But you know, what keeps you positive? What pulls you out of those down periods? What's some of the positivity for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely days where I don't feel like getting out of bed or, you know, things are challenging but what's been really monumental in my life has been developing coping skills, like to have in my arsenal all the time, you know, whether it's journaling or listening to music or listening to positive podcasts or talking with people that are in my circle or getting outside and immersing myself in nature and going for a hike or, you know, mountain biking. And the main thing is just to have your goals like crystal clear. It's like, you know, I want to envision the life that I want and be able to follow through with that. And it is hard, but everybody is struggling. And I think that is also a key element, is that knowing that we're not alone, that, you know, everybody has something on their plate that they're challenged with. And, you know, you just have to get up every day, and immediately before I get out of bed, I'm like, you know, going through what I want for the day or declaring, you know, positive things out loud, because, you know, you can think things, but I think the power is speaking it. So that's been really helpful too.
That's great. That's some motivation for me also. And I like that idea of having a vision and kind of stating that in the beginning of the day of what you what you kind of want. So that's great. Do you have any special talents that we don't know about?
Oh my gosh. That's a great question. I mean, I have really gotten into more cooking and baking during this quarantine.
Oh, nice.
And
what's your favorite thing to make or bake?
I've been baking a lot of cake lately. From scratch actually, because I went gluten-free a couple of years ago. So, figuring out different recipes and yeah, so that's been really fun. And I don't know if it's a talent, but I mean, my background's in mental health, so I feel like that has been something that I've been able to help a lot of people with. And I have my master's and was a therapist for a number of years. So always, excited to encourage and talk with anyone that's going through a tough time. So
yeah, I actually didn't realize that. Wow. Yeah.
I know I did know that, but I had forgotten. But I was thinking as you were talking, like, Lara, you're totally missing it. Like, I think your special talent is inspiring people and sharing your story and sharing your positivity. And it's just a talent that comes so natural for you. And, I think the world is such a brighter place because of you.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
So before I make you cry,
seriously.
Well, besides exercise, cooking, like, are there other things that you do for fun or to help yourself relax?
Yeah, I have a writing group that I'm a part of every week, and a faith-based group that I get to connect with other people. Of course, all of this is over Zoom calls, but it's been great. And as far as relaxing, it's really just relaxing. I go for a walk like around my neighborhood, and I like to go out at night and watch the stars, and music really helps me, and yeah, just kind of getting into a routine of breathing and settling the mind, letting go of the things I can't control, and just knowing that one step at a time, one day at a time.
That's a really important talent too. Being able to let go of the things we can't control.
Yeah, every day you got to work at that. It's like, okay, can't control that.
Right.
Great. So, congratulations on your new gig at the Cystic Fibrosis News Today. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you are doing there and what your role is?
Thank you. Yeah, I just started in February as a columnist for CF News, and it's a part of the parent company BioNews, which works with people of all different rare diseases and their communities. And so I was asked to be a part of the team, and so I write a column a few times a month and get to connect with other columnists and actually other disease communities too, which is really incredible to learn about and see how inspiring they are and what they deal with on a daily basis and how they use their story to impact people.
Awesome. Well, I've read several of your articles, and I love everything that you write, that you've written for them so far. So I'm looking forward to reading more too as time goes on.
I appreciate it.
So I have another question. So we know that you are an advocate for organ donation and double lung transplant recipient. How have things changed since that surgery?
It's been a pretty radical journey. I had to learn how to breathe in a different way because with my CF lungs, I took very shallow, short, rapid breaths, and it was hard to slow down my breathing and use my full lungs because, of course, my lung capacity was limited. So now in my new life, I get to take slow, deep breaths, which is incredible and such an amazing difference, like beyond anything I've dreamed of, really. But it's also come with its challenges and figuring out, different organs that are affected by my immunosuppressant medications and, keeping all of the numbers in check and blood work done on a regular basis. And yeah, it's been an interesting change of life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A lot of change, a lot to adapt to, and a whole new ball of wax to manage.
Seriously, like it's completely different than before transplant and things I've never dealt with, I'm dealing with, and trying to track the symptoms to know what's going on has been interesting.
All while still dealing with the other effects of CF digestively or sinus-wise, or
absolutely.
So it's not like you're swapping out one for the other. It's kind of an add-on.
Yeah, exactly. An add-on is a good way of putting it, because I've had sinus surgery since transplant and still take enzymes, of course, and it's been interesting.
Right. With all the writing and blogging and visibility that you have and have gained in the CF community, do you have hopes or visions or dreams of where you would like to see or work with CF advocacy, or where you would like that career to go?
Yeah, actually, I'm finishing up working on my book. So I'm hoping to get that out soon, maybe later this year. We'll see. And I definitely have such a passion for advocating for the CF community. And I've been, with my love of writing, just, thinking about a way that I can further develop that skill of advocating for people that don't advocate for themselves and also have a hard time, articulating what's going on. And between my mental health background and all of my personal experience, I'm working on actually developing a program for that to hopefully help more people.
Amazing. And I didn't know about your book too. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Read that.
Well, I haven't really talked about it. I've been working on it for almost 5 years. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm hopeful that, I can.
Yeah, with all your free time.
It hasn't been busy at all. So
there's been a few other things you've been juggling while writing a book. That's an amazing accomplishment, though.
Thank you.
I just wanted to share a little quote from one of your recent articles from CF News Today that was posted on Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month last month, the month of May. So I was just going to share a little quote of that and have you, I guess, talk a little bit more about your writing with CF News Today and just plug that. So I am a big fan of your writing, so I just find it so inspirational, and I just really wanted folks to hear a little sample of that so they can hopefully be inspired and find you online and read more of your work. So, the emphasis on awareness as a means of sharing only CF factoids inhibits others from connecting with us as fellow human beings. Bridging the gap between education and the human connection begins with nourishing desires to develop understanding. The goal of awareness is to draw closer to each other. The knowledge of how our bodies operate fulfills only a slice of our need to be seen in our entirety. Our souls cry out to be seen beyond our invisibility. What we long to have people see is not our unseen disease itself, but the parts of us that have been changed because of it. Every breath taken is a gift. We combat anxiety, depression, and trauma daily. We power through never-ending surgeries, tests, or hospitalizations. Sometimes breathing is our only feat of the day, yet surviving is enough. Our tenacity, perseverance, and valiance propel us forward into living each day despite how we feel. That's just
It's so moving.
powerful.
It gives me goosebumps. When I read it, it gave me goosebumps, and just hearing it again, it's wow.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Laura, can you just share a little bit of where folks can read more about, CF News Today and where folks can find more of your writing online?
Sure, absolutely. So cysticfibrosisnewstoday.com, and my column title is Valiant Voice, and I have a personal blog as well, which is www.laragovendo.com, and Instagram, Facebook is lungs, the number 4, Lovey, Lovey. But yeah, like I love sharing my writing with people and connecting, and I'm surprised at how many people message me and want to connect personally and tell me what's going on with them, and just being able to be an ear for those that don't normally have that is really a gift for me.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so many people out there that once they read some of your stories, they can relate and they want to reach out and make a connection.
Not only with CF, like I think your message spans all rare diseases, all unique differences, all hidden issues that we all live with, and how to, again, get across that void of living within ourselves or even hiding within ourselves, to be able to see that as something to be proud of and to share without shame.
That's a huge part of it. Thank you for saying that, Brian. I think that's the biggest thing that, society has kind of shaped us with, is that we should be ashamed of, these parts of us that don't operate like normal or isn't like everybody else. And really, these are the parts of us that should be celebrated and that, have changed us in the best of ways and made us who we are. And that's how we connect with our fellow human beings. And, each of us are a part of, this tapestry that, is woven together. I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Absolutely. So we have a couple photos we wanted to share of Lara that have been just great moments. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about them. So really recognize that pretty awesome shirt.
Yeah.
This was just recently, just last year, right?
Yeah, it was such an honor for you to ask me to speak at the Champs Challenge event. I think it's really been so wonderful to be a part of the CFLF community, and everyone is really a family there. And this was an amazing day where my family came, and I was able to connect with all of you and see you guys again. So it was amazing.
Yeah, it certainly was. And that was a unique year for us of having the reception luncheon indoors, which created a more intimate feeling. And this year, again, having some changes with the event now, moving into a virtual environment. But we're definitely hoping that you're going to come back and be a part of that as well.
Always, sure.
I love this shot.
Yeah, I was camping with a friend in Acadia National Park. Gosh, it was almost 2 years ago. And I love getting outside in nature and, exploring and adventuring. And the national parks are just an amazing, beautiful gift. This is my dad.
Oh, I love Larry. He's the
Oh my
best.
gosh, he's the best, that guy.
And who's the guy with the beard?
Right?
Uh,
Oh man, this was a blast. Yeah, that's right. This was the year before 2018, I think, that Champy showed up, right?
right, right. Yeah, and we had our luncheon down by the lake still.
Yeah. Such a gorgeous day, and my dad is just thrilled to be a part of it,
Can you
really.
talk a little bit about your dad's role as a support mechanism in your journey in your life with CF? I know he's one of your strongholds, one of your rocks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's just this quiet, gentle nature and the most hysterical guy I know. But he is, everything he does for people is just like, he doesn't boast about it. He's just the most humble guy, and he has helped me tremendously. He's the reason that I've been able to have my own place and support me, financially when I was going through transplant, and just tell me, don't worry about anything. Like, I've got this. You need to just focus on your health. And it's such a huge burden lifted from people like us that are going through these complications, because otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do. And he's always a sounding board and my biggest fan, pushing me and, when's your book coming out? Yeah, so he's such an intricate part of my story and beautiful supporter, really.
Yeah, and I think such a calming presence to him that amidst the anxiety and stresses of life with CF, transplant, the ups and downs, like to have that positive, calming presence in your life is so essential.
Yeah, you nailed it, honestly, because I can call him when I'm super anxious about something, and just his voice, he's just super calming and like peaceful and positive about things, and like, it's gonna be okay, like, we're gonna get through this. And
Yeah,
going through such tumultuous times for the last few years, he's just been a really grounding person for me.
yeah, and you can really see it in this photo. And him being green and fuzzy, you just look so huggable.
I know. Big grizzly bear.
Yeah, yeah. So no, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Another beautiful shot. Where is
This
this?
is in another national park, Shenandoah. I got to go hiking in there and camping, and it's really amazing what I can do this side of transplant. Incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing the analogies that so many people with chronic illness live with, have that image of a constant uphill, and that ability to kind of reach the summit and have that perspective of being able to look out on what you've accomplished, and the serenity yet perspective of how minuscule we all are, and that it just is a powerful thing to have our own journeys and our own challenges. And sometimes the harder the challenge, the steeper the slope, the greater the reward.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I feel that way about my life. It's been a lot of uphill, but I wouldn't change it for anything, even if given the choice. I would always choose my life, and
Yeah,
that's been such a gift.
yeah, absolutely. And you got to live it. My oldest brother would always say, and it always stuck with me: no do-overs.
Wow.
You get
Yeah,
one
that's
life.
powerful. Yeah.
This one's
Oh
great.
boy. This was actually, so I've had to use oxygen again since the fall. For my lungs are in great shape, but it's actually a vascular issue. I'm always complicated, of course. but this was taken after I found out that my insurance would approve oxygen because I'm not needing it in the typical way that people need it. So it was a real struggle to get it, and I fought, and I, talked with, advocates in the area and the health commissioner, and was able to get it approved, and it was such a winning moment.
Absolutely.
Oh
I remember that fight and that struggle you were going through, and what a big moment that was, just to have oxygen, just to breathe. It's insane that, sometimes we have to fight that hard.
So crazy how we have to prove ourselves for what we need, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But such a perfect example of what a powerhouse you are too. There's no mountain you can't move, and nothing that's going to get in your way. That's what inspires me so much about you.
I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I keep going despite all the obstacles. Like, I don't take no for an answer.
Right. And in your quote that Julie read, I think the key word that always stands out for me is the tenacity. And it's almost like having the mental fortitude, like almost like an endurance sport, or going when like your body wants to say, I can't go anymore. And your mind has to say, you are going more. There's no choice in the matter.
Yeah. Like, that's so beautifully stated, Brian, because that's exactly how it was before transplant. It was like I was in respiratory failure, and I was getting worse on the antibiotics that usually worked for me, and it was really my mental game that kept me alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that shirt too, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's actually one of my friends that runs a nonprofit, More Than Just Me Foundation. He designed it. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome. Well, this has been so great, Lara. Really am so grateful to have you in my life and to be a part of the CFLF life. You, like I said, are such a powerhouse and such an inspiration and such a representation of what CFLF strives to achieve. And, we couldn't stand behind you any more than 110%.
Thank you, guys. Like, I'm just blown away at your support and encouragement and love, and the community that you've built here. I mean, it feels like a family, and it feels, so welcoming and comfortable, and really, really honored to be a part of you guys. So thank you so much for all you do for me and the whole community.
Well, we couldn't do it without you and without people like you. And like you gotta say, we gotta keep going until CF stands for Cure Found.
Absolutely.
All right.
Great. Well, thank you again, Julie. I don't know if you had any closing comments or.
No, just want to thank Lara and for all her time, and looking forward to working with Lara over the summer and Champs Challenge, and really excited about what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
Great. All right. Well, we will talk to you sooner than later, but thank you again for this really awesome opportunity to share more about you and put the spotlight on you with our STROLO Star program.
Such an honor, truly.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
well, take
Lara.
care. Be well.
Okay. You guys too.
Bye.